Hello everybody, this is how to save data to floppy disks on the Yamaha V50. It's one of the last FM synthesizers that Yamaha made. Not really one of the last, but one of the last classic ones before they went to the SY series that also uses samples. So this was the most advanced of the pretty much DX range. In fact, it was meant to replace the DX range. They only ever made two synthesizers in the V lineup. They made the V2, which was the DX11 but rebadged for the Japanese market, and the V50, which is Yamaha's first workstation, and it basically takes the 4-operator engine out of the DX11 and the TX81Z and puts it with a pretty simple sequencer. It's very usable because of the nice display, but it's pretty basic. I'm on the regular just single play menu here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to disk up here, which is going to take us to the utility disk menu, and then I'm going to throw in a regular 2DD floppy here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to job and status. Now it's going to show up this illegal disk the first time you use a floppy that isn't formatted for it. It does use regular MS-DOS formatting, but it's got some special Yamaha things. So we're going to go over here. We're going to hit format. Yes, because I don't really care what's on this disk already. It's not being used for anything. Oh, yeah. It'll say write protected if you haven't switched the write protect off, like I obviously forgot to. So we're going to move the little square up there so it's covering the hole. Throw that in there. Try that again. It's going to go through and read the disk, and then it's going to start formatting. Don't know if you can hear that, but it's going to go through, and every time it clicks, it's going through one of the tracks on the disk. That's how the sectors of information are laid out, kind of like on a hard drive. Alright, and then it's going to tell you that it's done. And now if we hit status on the disk, boom, it works. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to save, then all, and this is how to back up everything on there. And then make sure to select a new file so we can, if we hit the up and down buttons, if we already had things on the disk, we would want to scroll to wherever it says new file. So I'm going to go through and just enter in these. I know it's got the buttons here for the letters, but you can actually go through just like you would on any other synth of this era and just enter in characters with the data entry slider. Alright, and then we're just going to hit go. We're going to hit yes. And we're done. And then let's say you don't want to save everything and have like a full backup. Say you just want to save the voices and performances. You're going to go to the SYN for synth, and then we're going to go and do the same thing. So and then same deal. Alright, and then the load process is basically the same but in reverse. So you hit whatever category you want, you pick the file that you want, and then you hit load. You can also, if you want to see just the files on the disk, it works just like a computer where you can scroll through. So these are the 2 files we saved. And then only other thing is you've got MDR, which lets you save sysx data from other instruments or any just sysx input onto disk. And you can also back up the disk to another disk through the backup function job. And yeah, that's all there is to the process. It's actually very simple. It's nice as well because the all the voice data will retain in the internal battery memory, but obviously the internal batteries die on these old synths all the time. And this is such an early workstation that they don't actually save the sequencer or the rhythm machine in the internal memory. You have to back those up to disks before you power it off. So that's all you have to do.